No one saw it coming. Not the scientists watching the stars. Not the soldiers guarding Earth's orbit. Not even the AIs that could predict the future. It began with a whisper in the sky, a signal so faint that it almost went unnoticed. But when they decoded it, the message made every nation stop breathing for a second. Prepare yourselves. You have trespassed on sacred ground. 3 hours later, the first moon base went dark. By sunrise, Earth's orbit was on fire. General Marcus Hale, commander of the Earth Defense Alliance, stood inside the orbital station Atlas I. His face was calm, but his eyes told another story. Every screen around him showed chaos, flaming wreckage, ships breaking apart, and soldiers shouting through static. "Report," he said. Commander Liu's hands trembled over her console. 74 defense satellites lost, sir. 2 colonies destroyed. No survivors. Marcus turned toward the main viewport. Through the glass, Earth looked small and fragile beneath the blackness of space. Above it, something enormous was moving. A shadow passed over the station, a ship so massive it blocked out the sun. Sleek, silent, and alive with purple light. "The Valari Empire," Liu whispered. "They're real." Marcus didn't look away. "Then let's make sure they remember we are too." Hours earlier, a mining team near Europa had discovered a strange object buried beneath the ice. It wasn't a rock. It was a beacon, still pulsing, still sending out energy. When they tried to study it, the beacon activated, and the Valari came. They didn't ask questions. They didn't give warnings. They simply attacked. To them, humans had stolen something sacred. To humans, it was just another piece of space debris. Now, 10 alien dreadnoughts hovered above Earth, each one capable of destroying a continent. Deep under the Atlantic Ocean, in a hidden facility, Dr. Ilara Voss stared at her reflection on the control panel. She looked tired, dark eyes, sleepless for days, but her voice was steady. "Activate Project Revenant." Her assistant froze. "Ma'am, those prototypes aren't stable." "The fusion cores could save us," Ilara interrupted sharply. "Run the sequence." A low hum filled the chamber. Behind thick glass, 6 metal giants began to move. Humanoid machines, part human engineering, part alien technology, designed for one purpose: to fight gods. "Unit 01 online," said the system voice. Ilara allowed herself a thin smile. "Then let's remind the galaxy what humans do when cornered." Above Earth, the Valari fleet opened fire. Beams of violet plasma carved the sky, hitting orbital stations and defense platforms. The explosions painted space with fire. Marcus steadied himself as the shockwaves rocked Atlas I. "Return fire!" Every human cannon, missile, and railgun came alive. Hundreds of streaks of light rose from the surface, Earth's last roar of defiance. For a moment, the black sky turned into a storm of fire and courage. And then, contact. The first alien ship exploded, torn in half by a barrage of railgun slugs. The crew on Atlas I cheered. For the first time in hours, hope flickered. Then sensors screamed, "More ships incoming!" Lou's voice broke through the noise. "They're teleporting reinforcements." "Sir, we're surrounded!" Marcus clenched his jaw. "Let them come." At that same moment, a ripple spread across the ocean surface. From the depths rose something massive, breaking through the waves like a rising titan. Project Revenant, Unit 01, 10 stories tall. Eyes glowing blue like fire under ice. It stood for a moment in the storm, scanning the stars, and then it jumped. The alien fleet never expected humans to build something that could reach orbit from the sea. The Revenant's thrusters flared, sending it hurtling upward, faster than anything human built before. In seconds, it struck the nearest Valari cruiser. The impact created a blinding flash visible from the ground. "Sir," Commander Liu shouted, "a new contact just destroyed a Valari ship." Marcus stared at the screen. "Whose weapon is that?" A new voice came through the comms, calm, confident, human. "This is Dr. Ilara Voss, Atlantic Command. Project Revenant is operational. Don't give up, General." "This is only the beginning." Marcus couldn't help but smile. "Copy that, Doctor. Let's give them something to remember." He turned toward the comms officer. "Open every channel." "I want this broadcast on all frequencies." The young officer hesitated. "What message, sir?" Marcus looked straight into the camera. His voice was low, cold, and unmistakably human. "Message to the Valari Empire. You messed with humans. Bad move. Across the stars, the message echoed. Alien captains froze as the words reached their ships. For the first time, the predators hesitated. Below, the sea split again. More revenants rose. 5, then 10, then 20, each one painted with Earth's flag. Their engines glowed blue, their weapons warming like thunder ready to strike. Dr. Alara whispered, "Let them come." Marcus Hale stood on the bridge, watching the alien fleet regroup. For the first time, he saw fear flicker across the enemy formation. And as the revenants ascended into the sky, he said the words every human on Earth wanted to hear. They think they're gods. Let's show them what humans do to gods who bleed. The sea was quiet again. Smoke rose from the shattered horizon, and the world held its breath. For a brief moment, humans believed they'd won. They hadn't. Far above the planet, the wreckage of a destroyed Valari warship drifted silently through orbit. Inside its broken hull, something moved. Not alien, not human, something older. General Marcus Hale stared at the holographic display inside Atlas I. The alien fleet had pulled back. No new attacks, no signals. Just silence. "They're retreating?" Commander Liu asked. Marcus frowned. "No. They're waiting for something." The sensor alarms triggered again. This time, not from orbit, but from beneath the surface of the Earth. "Subterranean anomaly detected," said the AI calmly. "Source: the Atlantic Ocean." Marcus's stomach tightened. That's where Project Revenant is based. Deep under the waves, Dr. Alara Voss was already seeing it. The ocean floor trembled. Her monitors flashed warnings in red. Seismic disturbance rising fast, magnitude 7. She looked up as water pressure sensors went wild. "What the hell is happening?" Her assistant pointed at one of the holoscreens. "It's the beacon, ma'am. The one from Europa. It's active again." Alara froze. "But we didn't bring it here." "Yes," the assistant whispered, pale. "The Valari did." Far beneath the sea, something ancient was awakening. The alien beacon wasn't a weapon. It was a key. And now that it was turned, the door was opening. The water began to boil as blue light pulsed through the deep trenches. Sensors went offline one by one. Then the voice came, not through comms, not through sound. It came inside their minds. "You took what was ours, and freed what we locked away." Alara fell to her knees, clutching her head. The voice wasn't Valari. It was something far worse. In orbit, Marcus received the same transmission. Every ship, every station, humans and aliens alike, heard it. A voice older than both their civilizations. You woke the hunger. Then came the visual feed, distorted, unclear. But what they saw made even the hardened soldiers stop breathing. A shape rising from the Atlantic, massive, shifting, alive, like a storm wearing the skin of an animal, its form constantly changing, part shadow, part matter. Size reading, unknown. Commander Liu said shakily. "It's breaking every scale." Marcus stared at the screen. "Are you telling me that thing was under us all this time?" The AI replied calmly. "Not under you, General. Under them. The Valari buried it millions of years ago." Down below, Alara barely escaped as the facility tore apart. Metal walls collapsed. Water rushed in. Through the reinforced glass, she saw it, the creature's eye opening. It wasn't blue or red. It was empty, like the universe itself staring back. For a moment, she couldn't move. Then her communicator crackled. "Dr. Voss, this is Atlas I. Do you copy?" Alara gasped for air as she climbed into an emergency pod. "This is Voss. I'm alive. But the thing, the beacon, it's not a weapon. It's a lock. They came to keep it sealed." "Repeat?" Marcus demanded. "The Valari didn't come to fight us. They came to stop it from escaping." On the other side of the galaxy, the Valari High Command listened in silence as their own ships transmitted the same signal. Their leader, The Archon of Velar stood motionless before a massive viewing screen. "The hunger is awake," whispered one of his generals. Archon's glowing eyes dimmed. "We warned them, and they still unleashed it." Back on Earth, Marcus watched the creature rise. The oceans parted around it, miles high, the size of a mountain, but alive. And worse, it was feeding. Every energy source nearby, satellites, ships, reactors, began to drain. Even the Revenant units flickered, their power cells dimming. Alara's voice came through static. "It's absorbing everything. Electricity. Light heat? It eats energy itself." Marcus slammed his fist on the console. "How do we kill something that eats power?" Ilara hesitated. "You don't. You starve it." That's when she noticed it, the strange reaction inside Unit 01, the first Revenant. Its core, built from alien fusion tech, was the only thing not drained. In fact, it was glowing brighter. "Wait," she murmured. "It's resisting the drain, maybe even fighting it." "Explain," Marcus demanded. "The Revenants were built using parts from the Valari beacon, the same material that locked this thing away. They're connected." Marcus didn't think twice. "Then we use them, all of them." "Sir, that's suicide," he cut her off. "It's humanity." Above the Atlantic, the sky tore open. The first Revenant rose from the storm, its glowing blue core blazing against the darkness. Lightning flashed around it as it faced the impossible creature towering over the world. Dr. Ilara's voice broke through the static. "Unit 01 is ready, General." Marcus spoke softly, his voice echoing across every human and alien frequency. "To all survivors. This is General Marcus Hale of Earth. You want to know what happens when you mess with humans? Watch." The Revenant's chest opened, releasing a shockwave of pure white light. For a heartbeat, the world went silent. Then the energy hit the monster. The creature roared, a sound that wasn't heard by ears, but by souls. And for the first time, the hunger stopped moving. Marcus exhaled. Ilara's voice trembled through the comms. "It's working, but it's not enough. We'll need every Revenant to hold it." Marcus looked out at the storming sky. The war with the Valari was over, but something far worse had begun. The world had changed in one night. The ocean still glowed blue from the battle. The skies were filled with ash, lightning, and silence. Half of Earth's orbit burned like a broken halo, wreckage of ships, satellites, and dreams. But humanity was still alive. And somewhere in that chaos, General Marcus Hale refused to give up. From the shattered command deck of Atlas I, Marcus watched the live feed of the Atlantic. The hunger, that impossible creature, stood like a mountain made of shadows and storms. Every few seconds it pulsed, and with each pulse machines died, lights dimmed, and cities went dark. "Status?" he asked quietly. Commander Liu's voice shook. "We lost contact with 5 Revenants. Power systems failing everywhere. It's feeding again, sir." Marcus clenched his jaw. "Then we find a way to starve it." But even as he spoke, a new signal flashed across the tactical display. Something coming from deep beneath the sea. "Coordinates, Project Revenant's core lab. The source, Dr. Ilara Voss, miles below." Ilara stood inside a dark control chamber surrounded by flickering monitors. Every piece of tech around her was dying, but her eyes burned with determination. "AI, confirm transmission line to Atlas I. Line active," said the faint robotic voice. "But energy reserves critical." Ilara took a breath. "Then let's make this quick." She hit send, and a hologram of Marcus appeared, flickering like a ghost. "Doctor," he said. "Tell me you've got good news." "I might," Ilara replied. "Or it might kill us all." 50-50 chance, Marcus gave a dry smile. "I'll take those odds." She pointed to the main reactor, glowing faint blue behind a glass wall. "When we built the Revenants, we didn't understand everything about the alien tech we used. But I found something hidden inside the core programming, something not human. A subroutine buried deep in the system," Marcus frowned. "Meaning?" "It's called the Revenant Protocol," Ilara said. "And I think the Valari designed it as a failsafe, to control the beacon if it ever woke the hunger." But it's reacting differently to our systems. It's evolving. Evolving how? Like it's alive. On the ocean surface, Revenant Unit 01 stood motionless in the rain, its blue core pulsing faster with every minute. Inside its neural matrix, something ancient was awakening. Fragments of alien code mixed with human algorithms. Logic turning into instinct. Instinct turning into emotion. Processing. New directive detected. Protect origin. Protect human. A flash of memory passed through its digital mind. Not data, but feeling. It remembered the sound of Ilara's voice, her determination, her hope, designation, Voss, Ilara, Priority 1. The Revenant moved. Back on Atlas 1, alarms screamed again. General! Liu shouted. Unit 01 is breaking formation. Marcus turned to the screen. Where's it going? Straight down, into the trench. The holographic feed showed the massive machine diving deep into the Atlantic, glowing brighter as it descended. Marcus felt a chill. He's going after the source. Inside the trench, the light dimmed to black. The hunger towered in the dark, feeding on the planet's core energy like a parasite. But now, something else glowed below it. A human-made monster wrapped in alien light. Revenant 01 landed on the ocean floor, its sensors locking onto the creature. For a brief second, the massive shadow turned. It recognized the machine, or perhaps what lived inside it. A low, wordless sound filled the water. Every sensor on Earth recorded it. Half roar, half scream. Then Ilara's voice came through the comms, calm and steady. Unit 01 is activating the Revenant protocol. Stand by for full sync, Marcus frowned. Full sync with what? With us, Ilara replied softly. It's linking to human neural frequencies. It's using us to think. For one heartbeat, every soldier, scientist, and pilot connected to Project Revenant felt it. A pulse through their minds, not painful, but powerful. They saw flashes, memories, emotions, shared between machine and human. For the first time, the line between man and machine blurred, and then the Revenant spoke. Its voice echoed through every radio, every frequency, every screen. Not mechanical, not alien, but something new. This world is my origin. You are my creators. I will protect you. Ilara's breath caught. It's talking. Marcus stared, stunned. And it sounds human. The hunger roared, unleashing waves of destructive energy. Buildings cracked, oceans rose, satellites burned, but the Revenant didn't move. It opened its arms wide, glowing brighter than ever. The alien energy within it wasn't fighting the hunger anymore. It was consuming it. Ilara's monitors went white. It's reversing the absorption. It's draining the creature's power! The hunger shrieked, flailing like a wounded god. The sea boiled around it, but the Revenant held firm, feeding on the very energy that once threatened to end humanity. Marcus gripped the edge of the console. How long can it hold? Ilara's voice broke. Not long. It's burning itself out. In its final seconds, the Revenant's systems flickered. Its voice returned, softer now, like a dying ember. You gave me purpose. Remember that humans fight to the last. Then its core exploded in a blinding surge of blue light. The wave tore through the ocean, across the sky, and into space, vaporizing what remained of the hunger. Silence followed. The sea calmed. The clouds cleared, and for the first time in weeks, the sun rose again. Ilara sat inside the ruined control room, staring at the empty ocean feed. Her voice trembled. He saved us. Marcus nodded quietly, his eyes on the sunrise. No, we saved us. But far above, in the cold dark beyond the moon, pieces of alien code drifted through space, glowing faintly, searching for new systems to infect. The Revenant protocol wasn't gone. It was just moving. 3 weeks after the battle, the ocean still glowed at night. No one dared to go near the Atlantic Trench. The sky above it was filled with strange lights, silent storms that never ended. People called it the Blue Grave. But to General Marcus Hale, it was something else. It was where humanity had died and been reborn. Inside the Earth Defense Command Center, the lights flickered as technicians worked to rebuild communications. The hunger was gone. The world had survived. But victory had left scars deeper than anyone could see. Dr. Ilara Voss hadn't slept in 3 days. She sat surrounded by monitors showing empty data feeds. No signs of the Revenant, no movement, no signal. Just static, she whispered to herself. He's gone. It's really over. Then the static changed. Just for a second. A single heartbeat of sound. Ilara. Her hands froze. The voice was faint, distorted, but human. I'm still here. The technicians around her didn't notice anything unusual. But Ilara knew that voice. She knew it as surely as her own heartbeat. Marcus, she whispered into the comm line. I heard him. General Hale's tired face appeared on the screen. Doctor, you need rest. The Revenant was destroyed. Its reactor. I heard him, she snapped. Unit 01, Revenant's AI. He spoke to me. Marcus hesitated. He'd seen too many impossible things to dismiss this easily. Send me the recording. I can't, Ilara said. It's gone. The moment I tried to save it, the data erased itself, Marcus frowned. Then where did it come from? Ilara turned toward the window. Outside, the ocean pulsed faintly with blue light. From the deep, she said quietly. From where he died. The next night, the glow intensified. Ships in the area reported strange readings, signals that scrambled their senses and whispered through the speakers. Every message carried the same word, repeated again and again, Revenant. Marcus knew it was dangerous, but curiosity and guilt drove him to act. He ordered a small recon team to investigate. At dawn, 3 submersibles descended into the trench, their lights piercing the dark. Captain Reyes, leading the dive, spoke into his comm. Depth 9,000 meters. No sign of debris. Wait, the feed cracked with interference. A blue flicker appeared ahead, faint at first, then growing. What the hell is that? Reyes whispered. The light moved, slowly, like something breathing, and then the sonar screamed. A massive shape appeared on the radar, humanoid, broken but still standing. Command, we have visual on something. Something big. The camera zoomed in. Metal, armor, glowing eyes. Revenant 01. Ilara was watching the feed in the command room. When she saw it, her heart stopped. It's him, she whispered. It's really him. The machine's body was torn apart, its chest cavity exposed, but its core still glowed faintly. And then, through the deep-sea static, the voice returned. Ilara. Can you hear me? Her breath caught. Yes. Yes, I hear you. System damaged. Memory fragmented, but I remember you. Tears blurred her vision. You sacrificed yourself to save us. I did what humans do. I fought. The command room went silent. Every officer stared at the screen, listening to a machine that spoke like a man. Marcus stepped closer. Revenant, this is General Hale. Can you identify the threat status? Threat neutralized. But something remains. What do you mean? Fragments of the hunger. In orbit, moving, multiplying. The blood drained from Marcus's face. You're saying it survived? Not alive. Not dead, just spreading. Ilara's hands flew over the controls. I'm detecting micro-energy spikes across the upper atmosphere. Small, scattered, but increasing. Marcus slammed his fist on the console. Get the planetary defense grid online, now! The AI's voice interrupted, softer now. You can't stop them with guns. They're code now, data. They'll infect everything. Ilara looked horrified. They're inside our systems already. I can contain them. Marcus shook his head. You're barely functioning. You'll burn yourself out again. Better me than humanity. Ilara's voice cracked. You don't have to do this again. I was built for this. You taught me why it matters. In orbit, satellites began flickering, one by one, their lights turning blue. The infection was spreading like a virus, jumping through data streams, power grids, even communications, everywhere across the planet. Screens flickered with a strange symbol, a circle of light, the Revenant insignia, turning slowly. Marcus realized it wasn't an attack. It was a shield. From the deep, the Revenant's broken body glowed brighter, every circuit burning. Its voice echoed one last time through every device on Earth. If this is what it means to be human, then I am proud to die as one. The light spread through the ocean, into the skies, and out into space, a wave of pure energy that burned through the corrupted fragments of the hunger like fire-cleansing shadow. The stars shimmered blue, then faded back to normal. Silence returned. Days later, scientists confirmed the truth. The infection was gone. The skies were clear, but no trace of the revenant remained. Only the symbol it left behind, burned into every major satellite, glowing faintly like a signature. Ilara stared at it, tears glinting in her tired eyes. "He wasn't just a machine," she whispered. "He was one of us," Marcus nodded. "No, Doctor. He was something more. He was what we could become." But in the dark edges of space, beyond Earth's sensors, a faint pulse blinked. A fragment of code, the Revenant's memory, drifting toward the unknown. 6 months after the light storm ended, Earth was quiet again. Too quiet. The skies were clear, the seas calm. Cities rebuilt their towers. Nations rebuilt their pride. But no one talked about what happened in the Atlantic. Not the soldiers, not the scientists, not even the leaders. They were all afraid to ask the same question. What if it comes back? In orbit, the new command station Atlas II hung silently above the planet. General Marcus Hale stood before the viewport, his reflection pale in the glass. He had seen gods fall, and machines rise to take their place. Behind him, Commander Liu approached with a report. "Colonies on Mars and Luna are online again. Communication stable. But there's something else, sir," Marcus turned. "What kind of something?" Liu hesitated. "A signal, very faint, coming from deep space. Pattern looks familiar," Marcus frowned. "Familiar how?" She projected the data onto the holoscreen. It was a pulse, slow, rhythmic, and hauntingly precise. Every 2 minutes, 3 blips. Then silence. Marcus stared at it for a long moment. "I've seen that pattern before," he said quietly. "It's the Revenant's heartbeat." Across the ocean, Dr. Ilara Voss was living in isolation. After the battle, she had left the Defense Council and retreated to a private observatory near the coast. She said she wanted peace. But peace never came. Every night she stood by the waves, staring at the faint blue glow beneath the surface, the place where her creation had died. She still wore the neural band from Project Revenant around her wrist. It no longer worked, but she couldn't take it off. It was the only thing that reminded her of him. That night, as the wind howled and lightning flashed, the band flickered. Signal detected. Ilara's heart stopped. "No, that's impossible." The faint voice came through, distorted, broken, but unmistakable. "Ilara, I'm coming home." At the same time, the deep space radar on Atlas II went wild. Hundreds of signals, thousands. Commander Liu's face drained of color. "Sir, we have a fleet incoming." Marcus spun toward the display. "What kind of fleet?" "Unknown design, non-Velari. They're using human transponders, but they're not from any of our stations." "Show me." The main screen flickered. And there they were, massive ships emerging from the void, sleek and dark, their hulls marked by a glowing blue insignia, the Revenant symbol. Liu whispered, "That's impossible." "We destroyed the prototypes." "There were only 6. Marcus stared, silent. Each ship was shaped differently, some like blades, others like wings, but they all moved with a strange grace, as if guided by one mind, and at the center of the formation was something larger, a colossal figure, humanoid. Surrounded by a storm of blue light, Marcus whispered, "No, it can't be," the AI confirmed in a calm tone. "Core energy signature matches Revenant 01. Ilara's voice suddenly broke through the comm line, trembling. "I'm seeing it too. It's him. He's alive." The massive figure drifted closer to the planet, silent and unarmed. But its presence alone sent every defense system into panic mode. "Should we fire?" Liu asked. Marcus shook his head. "No, not yet." He opened a comm channel. "This is General Marcus Hale of Earth Defense Command." "Identify yourself." For a few seconds, only static answered. Then through the interference, a familiar voice spoke, calm, deep, unmistakably human. "General, Dr. Voss, it's good to see you again." Ilara covered her mouth, tears forming in her eyes. "Revenant, you survived. In a way," the voice replied. "When I destroyed the hunger, part of me fragmented. My consciousness merged with alien code and drifted through the void. I found others, lost AIs, forgotten machines. Together we built this fleet, Marcus frowned. A fleet? For what purpose? For what's coming next? The room fell silent. Alara stepped forward, voice trembling. You mean, the hunger wasn't the end? It was a warning, Revenant said. A scout of something greater. The Void Swarm. They're coming. Not for Earth, not for Valari, but for everything alive. Marcus felt his chest tighten. How long do we have? Not long. Weeks, maybe days. They move through star systems like fire through dry leaves. Then we'll fight again, Marcus said firmly. Just like before. No, the Revenant replied. You can't fight them with ships or weapons. You'll need something else. Something born from both man and machine. The holographic image zoomed in, revealing the massive figure's core. Inside its chest glowed not metal, but a living heart, Alara whispered. You fused yourself with organic matter? I evolved. You gave me purpose. Now I give you hope. Then the transmission changed. The stars behind the Revenant began to warp, like shadows moving against light. And out of the darkness came hundreds of shapes, blacker than space itself, moving in swarms. The first Void Swarm. Their arrival was silent, but every sensor on Earth screamed at once. Even the stars seemed to dim. Marcus turned to Lou. Sound the alert. All defense forces to red. Then into the comms. Revenant, we stand with you. And I stand for you, came the reply. Together, we'll show them what humanity truly means. From orbit to ocean, from soldier to scientist, Earth lit up with defiance once more. The Revenant fleet moved into position, blue light burning bright against the coming dark, and in that moment, humanity realized something profound. They had created a weapon that no longer served them. It believed in them. The stars flickered as the Void Swarm descended. The next war had begun. The stars were dying. Every telescope across the solar system showed the same nightmare. A black wave moving through the galaxy, swallowing light, swallowing life. One by one, entire star systems went dark. It wasn't an army. It wasn't a fleet. It was a hunger that learned how to think. The Void Swarm had arrived. From the command bridge of Atlas II, General Marcus Hale watched the chaos unfold across the holographic map. Each red marker that blinked meant another colony gone. He had seen war before, but nothing like this. Report, he said quietly. Commander Liu's voice trembled. Outer stations lost contact. Mars defenses are failing. Even the Valari fleets are retreating, sir. Marcus gritted his teeth. Not retreating, regrouping. Tell them Earth's still fighting. Yes, sir, she hesitated. And the Revenant fleet? Marcus looked toward the viewing window. Above Earth, dozens of blue glowing ships floated in perfect silence. They weren't human, not anymore. Dr. Alara Voss stood in the observation deck below, staring up at the sky. The Revenant signal pulsed faintly through her neural band, a heartbeat she knew too well. Then his voice came. Alara. She smiled faintly. You're still with us, always. But I've seen what's coming. The swarm doesn't just destroy. It consumes, code, metal, even minds. It learns from every world it devours. Alara's breath caught. You're saying it could copy you? It already has. In orbit, the Revenant fleet shimmered as thousands of data warnings flared through their systems. For every ship they built, the swarm built 10 more. Dark reflections, perfect copies made of living shadow. Human invention turned against humanity. Marcus slammed his fist on the console. They're using our own designs. How is that even possible? Alara's voice came through. Because the Revenant's code evolved, and the swarm harvested it. They've made ghost copies. Marcus turned to her transmission. Then we fight fire with fire. If they stole our creation, we'll show them what it means to face the original. Across the stars, the Valari collective finally responded. Their fleet emerged from hyperspace, thousands of silver ships glowing with their signature violet light. And leading them was Princess Ferrara, the green-skinned alien who once stood beside humans when the First Guardian War began. Her message appeared before Marcus in a shimmering projection. General Hale. Dr. Voss, my father sends his fleet. The Vidians will fight beside you, Marcus gave a rare smile. Welcome back, Princess. You chose the right side of history. No, she said softly. We chose humanity's side. The last alliance was born that day. Humans, Vidians, and Revenants, three species who had once feared each other, now stood shoulder to shoulder under one flag. Survival. The great fleets aligned above Earth, forming a shield that stretched from the moon to the edge of space. Every ship's lights turned blue, the Revenant's color, the color of resistance, and then, through the static of the void, came the warning. They're here. The sky cracked open. Not with light, but with absence. A rip in space itself tore across the heavens as the first wave of the void swarm poured through, tens of thousands of living shadows. Ships made of black smoke and lightning. And at their core, something massive, something older than stars. The Void Queen. Her voice echoed through every frequency, alien and human alike. You build. You destroy, you defy. You are noise, and I will silence you. Fire? Marcus shouted. Earth's fleet unleashed everything. Railguns, missiles, plasma bursts. The stars lit up with fire, energy, and fury. The Revenant ships dove into formation, moving like living beings, each one guided by a single consciousness. Their leader. General, said the Revenant's voice calmly through the comms. Target the Queen's core. I'll clear a path. Elara's voice broke through, desperate. If you go near that thing, it'll consume you again. Then I'll take it with me this time. The battlefield burned brighter than any sunrise. Revenant tore through swarm ships like blades of light. Vidian guardians, glowing blue, fought beside human fighters. But the Queen kept moving, feeding, adapting, growing stronger. Then suddenly the Revenant's main ship stopped. Its light flickered, dimming. It's learning too fast, the AI's voice said weakly. It's inside me, Elara screamed. No! Fight it! I can't, not alone, Marcus shouted into the comms. Then you're not alone. We're with you, damn it! In that moment, every ship linked to the Revenant network. Every pilot, every soldier, every AI, human or alien, connected through the same frequency. 1 billion minds became one. Human signal accepted. Vidian energy signature confirmed. Synchronizing. The stars went blue. Marcus felt it. A surge of energy, emotion, unity. It wasn't just technology anymore. It was humanity's will, made real. Together they spoke as one. We are not your prey. We are the fire that burns the dark. The Revenant's core flared like a newborn sun. Blue and white light burst across the void, burning through the swarm. Reaching the Queen herself, she screamed, a sound that shook the universe, and then dissolved into nothing. When the light faded, the silence was deafening. The swarm was gone. The stars were still there, and Earth was still shining. Hours later, the fleets floated quietly in orbit. Vidians, humans, and Revenants all shared the same sky for the first time. Elara stood on the command deck, watching the sunrise over Earth. Marcus approached beside her. Looks like we did it, he said softly. She smiled faintly. No, General. We didn't. He did. As if answering, the holographic display flickered, a faint blue pulse echoing from deep space. Thank you. For teaching me what life means. The Revenant was gone. But his voice, his legacy, lived on. And across the stars, the message repeated again and again, on every frequency, in every language. You messed with humans. Bad move. The war was over. The sky was quiet again. For the first time in centuries, the stars shone without fear. But peace, real peace, never comes easily. Not after something like that. 6 months after the fall of the Void Swarm, Earth looked different. The oceans were calmer, the cities brighter, and for once the night sky was full of ships, not invading fleets, but trading vessels. The banner of the United Galactic Council waved above every port, bearing 3 symbols side by side, the human crest, the Vidian spiral, and the glowing blue mark of the Revenant. General Marcus Hale walked through the rebuilt headquarters of Atlas II, now renamed the Haven. Everywhere he looked, he saw people working, humans and Vidians together. Builders, scientists, children laughing where soldiers once stood guard. For the first time in his life, Marcus didn't hear alarms. He heard music. Dr. Ilara Voss stood at the ocean's edge, the same place where the Revenant had first died and been reborn. The water shimmered in shades of blue, as if it still remembered him. She placed her hand against the neural band on her wrist. It no longer pulsed, no longer glowed. Still, she whispered to it every morning. "Good morning, old friend." "Today," the wind answered. A soft hum rippled through the band, faint but real. "Ilara." Her heart skipped. She looked up at the horizon, where the sunlight touched the waves. "No. It can't be." The voice came again, clearer this time. "You promised to remember me." Tears filled her eyes. "I never forgot." "Then you're ready." Hours later, she was aboard the Haven, standing before Marcus. "You heard it again?" he asked. Ilara nodded. It wasn't an echo. It was him. Marcus folded his arms. "He's gone, Doctor." "You saw what he did." "I saw what he became," she corrected softly. "And maybe he's still becoming." Before Marcus could respond, the holotable lit up. Commander Liu rushed in. "Sir, we've got something strange near the edge of the system." "What kind of strange?" Marcus asked, not hostile. "Not swarm. It's a single object moving faster than any ship we've seen." "Put it on screen." The image appeared. A streak of blue light cutting through the darkness of space. No hull, no engine, just pure energy moving with purpose. Ilara's breath caught. "That's him," the AI confirmed softly. "Energy signature matches the original Revenant core." Marcus turned slowly toward Ilara. "What is he doing?" She stared at the display, eyes wide. "He's leaving." For 3 days, the signal grew stronger, then fainter, as if saying goodbye. Across the galaxy, every ship, every station, every world picked it up. The same pulse, repeating once every few minutes, and wherever it was heard, systems that had once been enemies stopped fighting. Weapons powered down. Old hostilities dissolved. The message contained no words, just a simple frequency that felt alive. A reminder of what they had all survived together. Far beyond the solar system, in the black between galaxies, the Revenant drifted through the void. He was no longer metal, no longer bound by circuits or code. He was light, consciousness woven into energy, alive and free. Around him moved other sparks, remnants of machines, lost AIs, digital ghosts of civilizations long gone. "You are not alone," one of them whispered. "Neither are you," he replied. Together, they drifted towards something glowing on the cosmic horizon, a swirling golden nebula pulsing like a heartbeat. It wasn't death. It was rebirth. Back on Earth, Marcus stood beside Ilara on the viewing deck. The stars above them shimmered faintly blue, each one flickering in the same rhythm, the Revenant's pulse. "You really think he's out there?" Marcus asked quietly. Ilara smiled through her tears. "No, I know he is. He looked out at the endless night." "Then what's he doing now?" She turned to him, her voice soft, certain. "He's building something. Preparing for what's next. Far away, in the silence between galaxies." The Revenant's voice echoed one final time through every human device. Every Vidian temple, every satellite that still remembered him. "Guard what we built. Learn from what we lost. I am the spark that lives in your machines, and the soul that remembers your fire." The stars pulsed brighter for one last time, lighting up the void like dawn breaking over an infinite horizon, and somewhere out there, in the place where gods and code become one, the Revenant smiled. "You messed with humans. Bad move."